everyone, welcome to JVF Solutions weekly news review. We're gonna be discussing a little bit about what's been going on in our own industry. There's a couple of hot topics that we're gonna touch base with. The first of all is threats. We've all heard a lot about it, so here is James to talk a little bit.
Great, and yeah, it's actually the perfect topic to start off with because Threads has been in the news since its launch. The big news story that I've seen is that user engagement has dropped significantly. There's an article in Forbes the other day that has it at about 70%. It's dropped 70% since its peak a couple of weeks ago, which, is expected with something like that. What we're looking to see is whether or not Threads plateaus somewhere and or if the engagement continues to drop and people move on to other platforms. I know personally I have not been using it a lot, so it just really isn't something that I find particularly useful. And I know a lot of the folks that I've spoken with have had similar feedback on it. I do know Meta is rolling out some new features this week, so we shall see if that will maybe get people more excited about it.
Yeah. Another hot topic this week is that we'll be saying goodbye to a little bird on Twitter, and we're gonna say hello to the X. Now there's not gonna be Twitter anymore, just X's, which is kind of funny, but let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting because this is the first time I think that any major social media platform has had such a drastic and dramatic rebrand. What we look for on the website side is because the icon is changing, you'll see on many websites a link to Twitter that has the icon of the bird. You'll see sharing links that have that in there. So one of the things we're watching out for is for that rebrand to be complete. I know they're doing other things and thinking of other things that they want to do as part of that rebrand. So we're waiting for some of the plugin manufacturers and developers to go out and make updates to the plugins. We're looking at things like links to make sure that they're all the same. So far, they're all working. And over the next few weeks, we'll be probably rolling out some changes to not only our website, but our client sites to make sure that it has the proper branding. We're using the proper branding everywhere with the new X. So, and I know there's plans to make it much bigger than just what Twitter was. I know there's some talk about adding in things like Bitcoin, competitors to Bitcoin. So that's a whole big thing. So we're going to be keeping an eye out on it, and we'll let you know if there's anything that you need to do related to that.
Yeah, hopefully we just have to change a lot of icons on websites, but let's see what happens. Let's don't forget, yesterday was the ADA anniversary. For those who it's American with Disabilities Act, and it basically helps all people with disabilities to have better access to all the services that all the rest of the people have. On the website side, it has a lot of kind of like rules or things that we have to follow, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, as you mentioned. It doesn't apply to non-government websites, so that's a common misconception that a lot of people come up to us and say, yeah, I heard that I'm not ADA compliant. So unless you're a school or a city or a town, you don't have to technically worry about it. However, accessibility, which I know we've talked about a lot this week, that can be a problem. So if your site is not considered accessible, you can be sued by private citizens. So that's something you want to look out for. There's 3 areas that we typically tell people to watch out for. The first is contrast, color contrast. So if you have, let's say, light gray text on a white background, it's very difficult to see for folks that have some visual impairments. So you want to look at your contrasting colors on your website. The second thing is that you want your images to be accessible. So if somebody's using a screen reader, which means it will it will read a website out to somebody, so it reads all of the text. And so you want your images to be compatible with screen readers. There's alt tags that you may have heard the term making sure that those have descriptive text in there so that the screen readers can read them properly. So that's the second big thing. And then the final thing are PDF files. There's a lot of talk about this. I know we've done videos about this
Yes.
as well. You know, most PDFs out there are not accessible. Now, it's a new feature that Adobe added to PDFs to make them more accessible, which is a great thing. So if you have old PDFs out there, more than a few months old, you may want to go and double check them to make sure that they are accessible. We see this with restaurants a lot on their websites. It's common for them to just post a PDF of their menu. We recommend that you actually do it in HTML, and the reason for that is that it's also good for SEO. Search engines usually don't scan PDF files and use them in their search results. So just another reason to just make sure that you're making your site not only more accessible, but making it more search engine friendly. So yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of news this
So,
week.
that was it for the week. We'll be coming back every week with some news and reviews as well. Let us know what you think about all of this on our comments, and follow us in all social media as jvfsolutions.com. If you need help with your website, please jump on our schedule at jvf.com, and see you there. Bye.
Take care.